Hello everybody, this is Mr. TC89 and I'll be covering the Dragon Ball Warrior mod for Baldur's Gate 3. And in this particular video, I'll be going over the Nameless Namekian subclass, Piccolo and all of his ilk. And this definitely went over a overhaul in this version because it is one of two subclasses that kind of has a branching start because of the different Namekian clans. So let's get right into it and take a look at level 1, the creator of the Dragon Balls, and your guy, role playing wise, is a nameless Namekian who gets the benefits of all three clans versus being pigeonholed into one. But you still choose one as your heritage. So you start off with focused listening, which is just, I gave almost every class a way of detecting invisibility. This is the Namekians version. Because they have super hearing, this represents them focusing on their hearing to the point where even somebody invisible makes noise and they can hear it. So it forces you to a walking movement speed. You can't run while you have this concentration active, but it does automatically reveal invisible enemies while you have it. And then they are the only class that can get Speak with Dead naturally. So that's what Ancestral Link is. And then Namekian Regeneration, they do get passive healing every turn. It is 1 plus level plus your Constitution modifier. And then you're also resistant to poison and you're immune to being crippled because they can regenerate their limbs. So this is definitely the tank class, I would say. Between this and Android, this is a tank class, easily the highest HP of all 7 classes. Every Namekian also gets Piercing Strikes, which is a reaction. So whenever you do a melee, you can do 1d6 piercing plus 2 bleed for the reaction. And then, of course, they have Dark Vision. So that's the basis of level 1, but you also have to choose your heritage, which is here, which one of the 3 clans. So the Dragon Clan, basically what these clans do is they give you a little bit of boosts. You get 4 different things at levels 1, 4, 6, and 10. And then it also adds modifiers to some of the Namekian moves. So it really is like 3 different classes in one, so to speak. But I'm only going to really be covering the Warrior Clan and the Demon Clan. Dragon Clan doesn't get too much offensive stuff, and I'm just going to give myself their moves. But as you can see here, Dragon Clan, this is your your Dende, your Kami. You get Wisdom and Intelligence, Resistance to Psychic. This is the only Namekian clan that gets Namekian Heal, though. So it's not every Namekian; it's just the Dragon Clan, and I'll go over that shortly. Level 4, they get immunity to Psychic, and they ignore Psychic Resistance when they're on the offensive. Level 6, they get something called Elder Privilege, which starts every combat with 2 turns of Sanctuary, which is pretty nice because Sanctuary means you can't be targeted by enemies. So you kind of get a 2-turn buffer just because you're an Elder of the Dragon Clan. So that's nice thematic. And then lastly, at level 10, you get Call the Dragon. I showed this off in the main class video. This basically summons all Dragon Balls that have not already been found. So that's, of all the classes, you don't feel like scavenging for the Dragon Balls. Your Dragon Clan can just pop it up and get them all. Kind of like that Namekian did in Dragon Ball Daima. That's where it was shown in canon. So they do have that ability. So that's the Dragon Clan. Warrior Clan gets strength and dexterity and a bump for initiative, and then they get advantage on dazed enemies. So in the previous version, every Namekian had this. Now it's just the Warrior Clan. And so you're going to want to be dazing enemies as often as possible. A lot of your moves do that. And then they get these techniques. This, I created a Warrior Namekian already, and then this one I'm making is going to be the Demon Clan. The Demon Clan gets Constitution Charisma, Resistance to Fire and Necrotic, and then when they're on fire, when they're burning or any other variant of burning, you get a reaction unlocked called Hellish Rebuke, which is just like the base game version. You do 2d10 fire damage whenever somebody makes you take damage. You can reverse it back on them and make them take damage. And it only costs 2 energy. It doesn't even cost a reaction. So you can use this constantly. And then they get their stuff. So that's what I'm going to choose for this. Heartburn is a primary way of making yourself go on fire in order to get that Hellish Rebuke. And then the natural attributes are Constitution, and strength and wisdom. So you're definitely, the higher your constitution is, the better your passive healing is, and then, you know, strength or even dexterity, whatever you want to do. So let's get into it. Okay, so that's my warrior guy. We'll start with the demon guy. Alright, so first, let me give myself heal from the Dragon Clan, since I didn't make a Dragon Clan person. Let's take a look at heal. Namekian Heal, you heal and then you remove a bunch of negative afflictions. A 5-turn cooldown in combat, no cooldown outside of combat. And the formula for how much you heal is your wisdom modifier multiplied by your constitution modifier multiplied by your level. So it starts relatively slow, but it eventually ramps up and relatively quickly into a heal to full health type of move by using it once. Because you'll very quickly start healing like 80, 90, 100, whatever. So it is a very powerful heal, and it's regulated to Dragon Clan only at level 1, costs both actions and 5 energy. The level 1 for the Demon Clan, let's go over starting armor really quickly. So this is the Vest of Soul Rejuvenation. So you gain a +2 bonus to unarmed attack rolls and damage of throwing attacks, which is great because every melee attack is an unarmed attack roll. And then you have 2 armor class, which is nice. And the Boots of Uninhibited Kushigo, which gives you an additional damage equal to your wisdom modifier with unarmed strikes, which again, that's all we're basically doing. And this is a strong wisdom class along with constitution. So great synergy with your armor here. And it looks, you know, doesn't look like a Namekian, but it looks Namekian enough for Baldur's Gate. And then another cool thing about Namekians, and I cover this extensively in the main class video as well, but Namekians start with a Dragon Ball pouch, which has a random Dragon Ball in it. So they get a little leg up on the Dragon Ball scavenger hunt. You start with 4 Namekians, you already have more than half of the Dragon Balls. So that's that. Back into the moves though. So Heartburn, this is what the Demon Clan gets at level 1. Cause your burning anger on the inside to manifest as fire on the outside. It costs 10% of your max HP. What does it do? It gives you it gives you heat for 3 turns. For the purposes of that Hellish Rebuke, heat also classifies as burning, so you'll get it. And what heat does is you take damage, but you can also use heat convergence. And we'll show that when it works. And then you also get 1 turn of Blazing Retaliation, which is pretty nice. You get 1 bonus to armor class, and then whenever a melee person misses you, you automatically retaliate with 1d6 fire. So if you use Heartburn and somebody attacks you, you're going to be retaliating with fire damage, regardless of whether they hit you or they miss you when you have Heartburn active. So let's take a look at how that works. Okay, so I have my 3 turns of heat, I got my turn of Blazing Retaliation, and I have heat convergence. Consume your heat, of which I have 3 turns. The next time you deal fire damage, you deal an additional fire damage for every turn of heat remaining. So if I use it now, my next fire damage would do 3 more fire damage. I'm not going to use it now because I want to show off the effects. So here we go. It actually hit me. And so because it damaged me, I can now use Hellish Rebuke because I'm on fire. 2 energy for 2d20 retaliation. And I can use it again. So as you can see, it's pretty powerful, especially at level 1. It's a nice, you get me, I get you right back. Now you do have to regulate the heat burning you, which you're only going to have to do that up until about level 6, because I think it's level 6 where you get immunity to fire damage. So, but that's what Heartburn is. And then remember, you do get passive regeneration in combat. So that's Heartburn, and then Focus Listening. It's just, this is the radius of who would be revealed if they were invisible. I use it. I'm now concentrating on Trunks and Goku talking about everything, and I can only walk. Okay, so that's that. I might as well go to the warrior guy, just to show what the warrior gets at level 1 is called Preemptive Strike, and target an enemy at full health. So you cannot use this on somebody that is not full health. That's why it's preemptive. You'd rush to them so you can attack from a distance, and then you deal 1d10 plus level. So it does, get better as you level up. And it dazes them, which, if you remember, the warrior clan has advantage on dazed enemies. And if you don't miss, if you actually hit them with this, it refunds the bonus action. So it's a very nice combat starter. Let's take a look at what it looks like. So that 15 heal, that was the passive healing. And so let's take a look at Preemptive Strike. This is the range, and then boom. So that was me hitting him, and then of course Piercing Strike. Might as well show this here. Add another 1d6 and bleeding. So he has dazed, bleeding, and I got my energy, my bonus action back. Okay, so that's Preemptive Strike. And let's go ahead and do this. And go back to this guy. And that's all you get at level 1. Nothing too crazy. Let's level up. Alright, at level 2, you start getting your tier 1 spells. So quickly overviewing them, you get Giant Size. Obviously makes you huge like Piccolo did. And it gives you a little bit of force damage on your melee attacks at the cost of being slower. You have 3 Stretch Arm moves. This one is Hold, which basically holds them in place. This one is Pull, which pulls them to you. And this one is Punch, which does damage. Then you have Gut Punch, which gives them dazed and is relatively powerful. You have Eye Lasers, exactly what it sounds like. This also gives dazed, gives dazed. Power Kick, kick them away. And then the infamous Special Beam Cannon. So what I'm going to do is you get 3 at level 2. I'm going to go ahead and get a few of them. And then I hit level 4, so I also get my level 4 Demon Clan ability, which is not shown on the screen, but you'll see it when we get back to our spell. So I'm going to stop right here. Ooh, did it count that? It didn't even count that last one. Come on. Okay, so this is up to level 4. Let's take a look at everything we have. This is the level 4 Demon Clan thing that I was just referencing. So, we did this. Let's do the Stretch Arms. So, Stretch Arm Punch has a range of 15 meters. This is the longest of them all. Pull has 12, and Hold has 10. So this is the longest range. And what it does is 1d8 plus Strength mod, Bludgeoning. And it's only a bonus action, and it's 8 energy. So let's take a look at it. Stretch Arm Punch. Boom. And of course you can use Piercing Strikes because this is an unarmed attack. That's Stretch Arm Punch. And let me go ahead and show Special Beam Cannon. So Special Beam Cannon, it has a 3 cooldown. It does, 1d10 plus level of force and piercing, so it levels up with you. And then back to the clan aspects, as you can see right here, this is an example of the clans modifying an attack. So Warrior Clan adds a whole nother 1d20 force. Demon Clan adds 1d10 fire, 1d10 necrotic, and Fierce Burning, which is 1d10 fire, which is even better than regular burning. In addition to everything that Special Beam Cannon already does, which is 4 turns of Gaping Wounds, which means if somebody has Gaping Wounds and you attack them, your attack does 2 more piercing. Typical bleeding and prone. So this guy that I have is Demon Clan, so it's going to do everything here, plus 1d10, plus 1d10, plus Fierce Burning. So he holds it to his head just like in the show. This is one of the longer ranged beams in the game, and it's like a sniper. But it can hit more than one person. It goes right through them. So let's see what it looks like. And it's gone. And as you can see, it did the extra necrotic and fire damage because I'm in the demon clan. Now if we were to go to the warrior clan and do the exact same move, right? Because I'm warrior clan, I should just do an extra 1d20. Which, as you can see, it did. So that's an example of how this works depending on your clan. The moves all do different things. Of course, the Dragon clan is not offensively based, which is why their special beam cannon is weaker than the other two. So that's pretty cool. That's special beam cannon. Let's go ahead and do stretch arm pull. So it pulls them to you. It does a little bit less damage than punch, but it still does damage, and it leaves them off balance when they land. So here's what it looks like. And I miss. Okay. Let's just let him take a time. Okay. What? Oh, I don't have energy. So that's one thing about the Namekian. It does have the highest health. It does have the highest health of all of the classes, but I'm pretty sure it has the lowest energy. Or second lowest. Something like that. Okay. Pull. Hit this time. There we go. And it's pulled toward me, and it has off balance. So that's how that works. And then lastly, we have stretch arm hold. Stretch arm hold, you wrap the enemy for up to 5 turns. Nobody can move or do anything. You both have disadvantage on dexterity. And the only thing the enemy can do is try a 20 strength check to break free. Now, if you're the warrior clan, you're doing this with one hand versus both. And so that means you actually can use bonus actions and reactions, and you don't have a dexterity disadvantage while using it. So this is a way better move in the hands of a warrior clan, but it's still effective in demon clan and dragon clan. So let's take a look at it. Bonus action for energy. Okay. All right, so he's wrapped, and I'm holding. So you see I can't move. All my stuff is blanked out, and I can't do anything. Neither can he. So he's not taking damage. I'm still healing from my passive healing. So it's a nice way to... Let me get some energy. Let me get some health real quick before the battle resumes. And you can hold it while your other allies are attacking it. So that's a pretty good utilitarian move. And then let's actually go to the warrior. Do the same thing. Notice I still can use my bonus action, so I can hold him, and then I can go over and hit him. Oh wait, I can't move. So I can use another bonus action to do something else, which we'll get into in a second. So that's stretch arm hold. Where's that thing? And eye lasers. Okay, fire lasers from your eyes, dealing 1d10 plus wisdom mod psychic damage, and it also caused daze. And if you're demon clan, you also get 2 infernal burning, which is great because infernal burning is like regular burning, but they also can't heal, which is pretty fantastic. So that's 2 turns of that. So let's take a look at eye lasers. Okay. Face this way. See his eyes glow yellow. And then, boom. The beam isn't always perfectly on point, but it is what it is. You got the psychic damage. Oh, that was a critical. And also the infernal burning. Okay, so that's eye lasers. Right, that's what it looks like. And then let's do power kick. I hate when it does this. Let me do gut punch. So gut punch, daze the enemy 2 turns by knocking the wind out of them, dealing 1d8 plus level plus unarmed damage, so this does raise as you get better. And then 2 turns of dazed, melee range. Okay, gut punch. And you miss. RNG is just RNGing. Alright, so let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so that's gut punch. And then we have power kick. Goodness. Okay, and of course. Alright, so power kick, 1d10 plus level plus unarmed damage, force, so it's a pretty strong attack, kicks them 7 meters away, and as the warrior clan, you add bludgeon the weak for 3 turns, which makes them vulnerable to bludgeoning. So a lot of the warrior clan stuff adds bludgeon the weak, slash the weak, whatever, to make it more, I think just bludgeon the weak is the theme. But anyways, let's see power kick. Kicks them far. Nice to kick them off a cliff or something. Boom. And that's that. That's pretty fun to use. So that's power kick. And then what else do we have? Did that. Oh, giant size. Let's take a look at this. So your carry weight is increased tenfold. You get strength +4 and advantage on strength, but you get dex -4 and disadvantage on dexterity. And then you get 2 times your strength mod of force damage added to every melee attack. This is a concentration. It does not cost bonus or regular action. It just costs a little bit of energy. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so now I'm huge. It's concentration. My carry weight is massive. My strength is higher. My dex sucks. And then if I were to attack this guy, here's that extra damage right here. Where is it? It's one of these force ones. Okay. So yeah, but I also am much slower. So it's up to you. That is giant size. And then last but not least, we have Cursed Blood, which is Demon Clan specific. This one, you must target a bleeding enemy. So if they're not bleeding, you can't even target them with this. It deals 1d20 necrotic damage, and then it afflicts them with 3 pretty strong statuses. So the first one is Volatile Blood. This gives tick damage, 1d6 necrotic each turn, and then when they die, they detonate for 3d6 fire all around them. So they have 4 turns of that, so you have 4 turns to kill them to use that. Blood Sapped, their maximum hit point is reduced for 4 turns. I believe it's by however many turns they have. And then Flame Feeble makes them vulnerable to fire damage, which a lot of your attacks as the Demon Clan delivers fire damage. So 3 nice afflictions here. Let's go ahead and take a look. And again, really, your only method of causing bleeding right now, you really only have one. However, it's very easy. It's just the Piercing Strike. So this is an action, so let me do a bonus action to get bleeding. No words. I'm not going to do that because I need my energy. Alright, let's try this again. Come on now. Alright. So now he's bleeding. And let's do Cursed Blood. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. So let me just do that again. Okay, let me do this. Alright, I have advantage. I better make this. Okay, there we go. So it has everything that we just mentioned. It's gonna die next turn from the bleeding and from the volatile blood, which means it will detonate, which means I don't even want to be here. So let me do this and let's watch it. There we go. Okay, so that is Curse Blood. And that's everything up to level 4. And was there anything I need to show you on the warrior? I don't believe so. Oh yeah, at level 4 they get Killer Focus, which is also a move on the Time Lord class. But basically what happens is it forces your next attack to be a critical. It restores 1d20 plus level energy, and it clears any mental fatigue. And it only costs a reaction. Killer Focus, and if I were to attack something, it would be a guaranteed critical hit. So that's a really good warrior clan ability. At level 4, the Dragon Clan, that's when they get immunity to Psychic, and they ignore Psychic resistance when doing Psychic attacks. Alright, let's level up. Alright, now we are in the Tier 2 abilities, so let's quickly overview those. You get Battle Meditation, a one-time per battle thing. It restores 100% of your energy, which is very useful, because again, this is a very low energy class. And then it removes your cooldowns for everything in that list, which is basically every Namekian move that even has a cooldown. So very strong attack once per battle. It's nice to kind of reset yourself. Namekians also get telekinesis, like a few other classes. Then Namekians get the ability to clone themselves, and this is how they get extra bonus actions and actions. So here's Clone. This gets you 1 action point. It costs 10 energy, but it also costs a quarter of your current health. So if you have 100 health, it's going to take 25 of it just to get that extra action. Double Clone, similar concept. This gives you 2 bonus actions instead of 1 action. Costs the exact same. So there is no cooldown on these. You can use these as much as you want, but it will kill you eventually. And then Mental Matchup. This, you target an enemy and then you do psychic damage and then it dazes them, but if they make the save, then it represents them beating you in that mental matchup, and then you get the results instead of them. So it's a kind of a risky move. Psychic, now we're getting to the psychic stuff. Psychic Slumber. A lot of the psychic abilities for the Namekian requires the enemy to be dazed for it to work. So it does take a little bit of setup, but it's pretty strong because this gives you sleep for 2 turns. There is no save, or maybe it's a wisdom save, yeah, but it gives you 2 turns of sleep. Telepathic Terror makes them frightened and does a little bit of psychic damage. Then we have Scattershot, which is 10 key blasts that you can send anywhere. You have Shock Zone, which a very misremembered thing, but back in the Saiyan saga, when Piccolo was training Gohan, this is the move that he used. One of the times he turned into Uzaru, he used like some lightning looking attack, which is the only time I've ever seen him use it. But that's why I put this in here, because I saw it in the show. So it's pretty good. Oops, I gotta fix that the wording. But basically, you use it, and it's either going to paralyze or shock them, one or the other. And then lastly, we have Masenko. It's a pretty good force damage explosion that makes them go prone. So let's go ahead and choose this stuff. Level 6, you get a feat, and level 6 is when you get your 3rd Namekian clan bonus. So I'll remember to show that. Alright, so level 9, you should have all of the Tier 2 spells. And let's take a look at them. So, first off, my level 6 Demon Clan ability is to be immune to fire and necrotic, and then ignore fire and necrotic resistance. So as you can see, that is the case. I am immune to those, which is strong. So whenever I use Heartburn, I can get my abilities and the fire does not hurt me. right? Because I'm immune to it. So that's great. And then, let's see if I have something here. Yeah, so as an example, Cursed Blood, now you see it says ignores resistance because it does. And it does that with any fire attacks as well. So that's really good for the Demon Clan. The Warrior Clan at level 6, I think it's Brawler. Yes, Brawler. So Brawler, what Brawler does is whenever you go into combat, if you look over here, it gives you this, a free quick punch and a free strong punch every turn. No energy cost, no action cost. So you just get a bunch of different, you get these two every single turn to signify how much you like to brawl, which is pretty awesome. And then the level 6 for the Dragon Clan is when they start with Sanctuary every combat. So those are your level 6 upgrades. And then let's take a look at the moves. So Clone and Double Clone, I think they look the same. Clone. Yep. 40 HP, but I do get my extra action. And then Double Clone. 30 HP, because remember, it goes off your current HP, not off your max HP. And I got my 2 bonus actions. No cooldown on those, other than once per turn each. All right, now we have Shock Zone. So Shock Zone, it's pissed me off with typos here. 4d4 lightning, and then it does paralyzed for a turn, right? If they save, then I believe it does shocked. But let's just take a look. Got a few enemies here. Alright, let's use it. Okay, perfect. So we have paralyzed, paralyzed, paralyzed. This guy saved, and yes, he does get 1 turn of shocked. Which shocked means he can't take reactions and have disadvantage on that stuff. So even if they save, they get 1 turn of shocked, and they take a little bit of damage. Okay, so that's Shock Zone. Oh, come on now. All right. Then we have Scattershot. Oh, by the way, Shock Zone. Did I not put it in here? Shock Zone, if you look at it, right here, let me stop this. So, I could have sworn I put it in here. The Shock Zone, one of the things for the Demon Clan is they generate heat and lightning charges by using Shock Zone. So that's their modifier, so to speak. Now let's take a look at Scattershot. Okay, so Scattershot, 10 Ki Blast. Each of them only do 1d8, which doesn't seem like a lot, but you're doing 10 of them. So if you do all 10 at 1 target, then it's a pretty massive attack, action, and 25 energy. Let's take a look at it. Alright, so these are our victims here. We're going to use it. Okay, so he's getting ready. And you see it's a little bit of an area for these. So we'll do 1, 2. You can target the ground. You don't have to target an enemy. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they get launched in the order that you click them, and then they explode. So that's Scattershot one more time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, as you can see, the modifier, if you're Warrior Clan, it doesn't do 1d8. It does 2d8 per blast. So it gets twice as powerful. So definitely take this if you're Warrior Clan pretty early. And then what else do we have? Masenko. So Masenko deals 2d12 plus 10 plus level plus wisdom of force damage. On save, it still does 2d6. And then if you're Demon Clan, it leaves a burning surface. And then it always afflicts 3 days and makes them prone. So Masenko is pretty good. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay, so he's charging it up. And when you fire it, Okay, so that's what it looks like. Let's take a look at it. Some enemies. Where did I just put it? Here. Okay. Boom. And it leaves the fire surface only because I'm Demon Clan, where there would be no fire surface as a warrior. Okay, and then let's see here. Mental matchup. So target the enemy's mind, duel them mentally. It's a 20 wisdom save. Whoever loses takes the damage and is dazed for 2 turns. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Mental matchup. So that's what it looks like to start. And I challenge you. And I won. Good. So now he's dazed and he took some damage. Now the good thing, the Dragon Clan, almost all of their modifiers are on psychic attacks like this. So as far as mental matchup, the Dragon Clan, if I were to fail that, I would still deal damage and I would still inflict 1 dazed. If the Demon Clan or the Warrior Clan fail, it does nothing to the enemy. So that's where the Dragon Clan kind of shines. And let's take a look at a little bit more. We have 2 more psychic abilities, and we have Battle Meditation. So Telepathic Terror, you have to target a dazed enemy, and then it deals damage, and then it frightens them for 2 turns. Dragon Clan also adds Fractured Psyche, which is -5 to armor class and -5 to saving throws. So that is crazy. Crazy good. Well, for the purposes of testing, I'm glad that I forgot to put the guy has to be dazed, but I'm gonna change that. But this is what Telepathic Terror looks like. Okay, he's frightened. Frightened for 2, can't move, and he took a little bit of damage. Okay, so that's Telepathic Terror. And I just whiffed. Okay, and then we have Psychic Slumber. Similar concept here. Instead of frightened, you're gonna put him to sleep. Wow, I didn't put the daze thing on any of them. Take advantage of it while you can. That's definitely... How do you miss a sleeping target? But that's definitely going to be hot fixed. But yeah, so that's how that works. And then last but not least, we have Battle Meditation, which restores all energy and removes cooldowns for all that. So demonstrate that. Use some energy. And then let's go ahead and get in a fight. And let's just do this. Okay. I should have used something that had a cooldown. So let me do this. Okay. All right, piss me off. So I have to add the cooldown to Special Beam Cannon. Let's try this one more time. Okay, so Masenko has a cooldown. Did I not put a cooldown on anything? Am I serious? Scattershot? This can't be real. Huh. This is why you test things before you make a video. So apparently, in my testing, I forgot to put the cooldowns back on pretty much everything. So screw it. I'm not going to waste any more time on this. But basically, Battle Meditation would remove them. And this is what it looks like. It does restore all the energy, so at least that's working. I cannot believe I forgot to put these things on. Anyways, that's battle meditation, and I think we're good to level up. Okay. Level 10. Level 10. So, as a Demon Clan, you get Hellraiser, and every single Namekian gets Super Namekian at level 10. And so this is what it gives you. It gives you 1 bonus and 1 action, and it increases your strength, dex, con, and wisdom by 2. So you are now a Super Namekian. You get your heritage bonus, and you get your 2 spells. So let's take a look. We are now in tier 3 spells. So quickly, Psionic Pressure, similar to the other ones, deals damage and it stuns them for a turn. Dragon Clan adding 6 mental fatigue to it. Chaos Control, this is targeting them and making them dominated. Brain Breach, you target an area. If any of them are dazed, they gain a new status called Breached, which does tick damage and some other things. Hellzone Grenade, you surround, this is what Piccolo did to Android 17, surround them with a bunch of key balls. They can't move, and then when you end the concentration, it does a ton of damage. Light Grenade, what Piccolo used against Imperfect Cell, massive explosion. Explosive Wave, yep, that's a crazy move. And then Double Drill Burst, a move I made up, is supposed to be the upgrade to Special Beam Cannon. So let's just take a look at some. I'm going to get all of them actually. Okay, and by level 13, you should have all the unlocks. Save for level 14. We'll go over that last. So, what did we just get? Here is Double Drill Burst. So, Double Drill Burst, a more powerful version of the Special Beam Cannon. It deals 10d4 plus level force and piercing. It has 5 cooldown, but the Warrior Clan has 3 cooldown for this. So that's their perk with it. It does similar things that regular Special Beam Cannon did, gaping wounds, bleeding, and prone, but it also adds dazed. Costs 2 action, which you have now naturally, and 50 energy. So let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay. Alright, so that's Double Drill Burst. Your most powerful beam, by the way. Okay, and then we have we have Light Grenade. So Light Grenade does 40-10 plus 10 plus level Radiant and Force. It's a 27 Constitution save, and it still does 2d10 Radiant and Force. And then if you're the Warrior Clan, you add 2d20 Force and Shredded Armor for 3 turns, which lowers their AC by 2. So massive attack. You can only use it once per battle. Here's what it looks like. %, not supposed to look like that, but it's okay. I got a lot to fix about the Namekian. So that's the area that it's going to affect, and let's take a look at the VFX. Okay. So you fire off that grenade and it explodes. So as far as enemies. Okay. Okay, and it disintegrates them if it kills them. So that is Light Grenade. And then what else do we have? Hellzone Grenade. So Hellzone Grenade, it's if you use it on someone, it is a 25 dexterity save, and it prevents their movement. And then once you detonate it, it does what is that? 66 force and 66 radiant. And if you're Demon Clan, instead of Force and Radiant, it does Necrotic and Fire, which at this point you should be doing double damage, or ignoring resistance, excuse me. So it is a concentration spell, so let's take a look at it. Alright, so Hellzone Grenade. So you're going to use it on him. Boom. So this is kind of what it looks like. He's in the Hellzone, right? Got a bunch of stuff around him. And he's not going to be able to move. Now, if he had any long-ranged attacks, he'd still be able to use it. He just can't move. But the wolf doesn't have any long-range attacks, so it's effectively screwed.
Light on my feet.
And so it lasts for, no, that's the cooldown. It lasts as long as you want it to last. So you take him out of the battle, and then when you get rid of this, it'll do the damage. So 3, 2, 1. And you see it did Necrotic and Fire because I'm Demon Clan. Okay, so that is Hellzone Grenade. And we are almost done here. Brain Breach and Psionic Pressure. So I probably didn't do the days for Psionic Pressure either. Take a look. It does 1d20 plus Wismod Psychic, and it does Stun. So let's take a look. Boom. And yeah. Okay, so that is Psionic Pressure. And then Brain Breach, and then Explosive Wave. And Chaos Control. Wow, a lot of things here. So let's just do Chaos Control real quick. Chaos Control. Now you're mine, thank you. And I want you dead. Okay, so that's Chaos Control. And lastly, not lastly, Explosive Wave. Let's go ahead and do Explosive Wave. So Explosive Wave, massive damage, and also there is no save. So it's always going to do this massive damage no matter what, which is pretty crazy. And as you can see, I'm the Demon Clan, so it ignores the fire resistance. And once it does it, the people are left dazed, they're burning, and they're prone. And because I'm Demon Clan, I'm also going to add Melting, which is exactly what happens when you walk over lava. It's 10d6 fire for 2 turns. So a very powerful attack. The downside is you get lethargic after the fact. So you're not going to be able to do anything after the fact. So let's take a look. Let me give you some enemies. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so Explosive Wave. That's the radius. Everybody here is going to be taking it. There is friendly fire, so be careful of that. And let's use it. Yeah. Complete and utter death all around you. And you're immune to fire by this point as the Demon Clan, so that doesn't affect you. And that's Explosive Wave. I believe it's once per short rest. Okay. That is a combat ender for sure. And then Brain Breach. So Brain Breach, target an area, damage all enemies, and if any of them are dazed, which you should have been setting up for a while, they gain Breached for 4 turns. What Breached does is brand new. They have -1 AC, 50% movement, and they take 1d12 psychic damage at the start of every turn. So I will go ahead and demonstrate that. Let's go ahead and daze. Wait, real quick. Brain Breach is an action. Can I daze with a bonus action? Yes. Eye lasers. Okay, so he's dazed, and the rest are not. So let's use Brain Breach. That's the radius. We use it. Boom. Okay. Damn it. Wow, so the Namekian has a lot of issues right now, guys, but I'm going to work on this as soon as I'm done with this video, because this is pissing me off. Alright, so it's supposed to work. It's supposed to get breached. I'll fix that shortly. And then the last one is Hellraiser. Hellraiser is the Demon Clan specific level 10. And so here's, take a look at it. You empower yourself, which just basically means you put yourself on fire. And then you can summon a free Hellfire wall per turn, and all your attacks do an additional 1d6. This move costs 10% of your max HP in both actions. It's a concentration, so let's take a look at it. Alright, so I'm going to be on fire as long as I'm concentrating, which gives me that Hellish Rebuke the whole time. And then I have this Hellraiser, which is free, doesn't cost an action, doesn't cost anything. And I can just make a firewall, Hellfire, which is stronger than regular fire. And it lasts, I think, 1 turn. Okay, and I can do that every turn, for free, while I concentrate. So that's the level 10 for the Demon Clan. And then if we go look at the Warrior Clan, they get this, Desperate Blow, which you have to be below 50% HP, but if you are, you can do a pretty strong attack, 5d6 bludgeoning and radiant, and it does dazed. So let me do this a couple times. Get underneath that threshold. There we go. Now it's available. So let's test it out. Oh, I just healed just enough to not be able to do it. So, okay. And now I don't have enough energy. Incredible. Alright, so, Desperate Blow. Here we go. Kind of fake like you're hurt. You're charging energy. And then you screw them up. And it's a pretty good attack. So that's the level 10 move for the Namekian. It's a once per battle attack. And then the level 10 for the Dragon Clan is the Call the Dragon ability, which I did demonstrate in the main class video when I talked about the Dragon Balls. It summons a chest that has all the remaining Dragon Balls in it. Which, if I were to do it here, it would only summon 5 because both of the Namekians I'm using both have their 1 from the start. Okay. Now, last but not least, we have, get out the way. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't level up. I have enough EXP. Alright, we get the orange form. So, this is the last unlock for the Namekian. And here it is. So let's take a look at what it looks like. It is not a concentration. It lasts for 5 turns, and you can only use it once per battle. But it puts you into orange form. It gives you 250 energy, which is a great boon for the Namekian. It restores 25 per turn, gives you 50 temporary HP, 2 actions, bonus and reactions, increases your stats, makes you resistant to not only physical damage, but also force damage. And on top of that, both physical and force damage, all damage taken is reduced by 10 before the resistance even comes into play. So it is very powerful as far as a defensive tank, kind of like when he turned orange in the movie, you know, they were hitting him and he wasn't even phased. So let's take a look at orange form. Okay. Now again, this is still beta. I do like the, I might keep most of this. I'm going to change how he gets into it. But this is orange form. Let's take a look. You see I got my resistances and my energy and all of that. And so if I were to have an enemy, because I have those resistances and I have the damage mitigation, if an enemy can't even damage you, it'll probably sense that and won't even attack. Like that. It just looks at me because it understands that I'm way too strong. Now that I don't have orange form, it goes for the attack. Okay, so that's orange form. Mess him up. Bye-bye, one hit. Alright, so that's orange form. Alright, and that is everything, guys. I noticed a lot of things in this particular video that I have to change, so I'm going to get right on that. But you guys get the gist. Namekian's a great support slash tank slash psychic controller, crowd controller. And so hope you guys like this. I hope you guys like the mod in general. And I only have one more video left to do. I saved the best for last, the Saiyan, and that should be up later today as well. So you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.